My name is Damali Sali and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected, and today I host Joy Atieno. Joy is a digital activist who is passionate about supporting her fellow youth to overcome unemployment and poverty in Africa. She leverages on the power of technology to impart digital skills. She is a project management specialist with over 6 years in digital skilling and alternative education. Joy, who is also an actuarial scientist, has also worked with other brands such as Deloitte, International Rescue Committee, and Google. Lately at Google, she's working on the Google Digital Skilling Africa project, and that is what we're going to talk about today. Joy, you're very welcome to the Ideation Corner.
Thank you so much, Damali. That was a stellar introduction. I almost forgot you're talking about me.
Like, who is that? Is she talking about me?
You know, imposter syndrome, always.
Always. But yeah, to tell me more about this, the Google Digital Scaling Africa project.
Okay, so we have seen with the recent events, with the COVID pandemic, the way it has affected the world in so many ways. The way we relate, the way we communicate, the way we do work. And what has become very obvious is that digital skills or digital literacy are becoming more or less a necessity of life. So, you know, those days you're back in school when you're young and you're being told basic necessities of life is food, shelter, and clothing. But you're getting to a point where
digital skills.
We're getting to a point
shelter,
where
digital skills.
Internet. Yeah. So, you know, right now somebody might get a headache, you may feel so bad, but you'll not go to a doctor to check you out. There are people who will just take paracetamol or something over the counter. But when somebody's phone is almost going off, it's almost like they're mad. If it's at 4%, it's like your lifespan also has gone to 4%, right? So it's almost becoming a basic necessity of life. So with the pandemic, we used to talk about the world is going into a digital age. But we are no longer talking about the digital age being the future. It has already caught up with us right now. We have seen with the COVID situation, people in lockdown, quarantine, and all sorts of things. The only way you can maintain communication is if you are digitally literate, right? And the world has now adopted to that, what we call the new normal. When you walk into the new normal, the world has adopted to that. Digital skills are going to affect work, are going to affect the way we communicate, are going to affect the way we relate. So now Google decided to come up with this program, Google Digital Skills for Africa, to help plug that gap. Especially in Africa, there are no opportunities. There are not many opportunities out there for young people and for generally all Africans to try and build there. There are places you'll go in Africa where people have never seen a computer. If you give them a desktop, they'll tell you that's a TV set because they've never seen it. It's that bad. So it's like, how can we create opportunities for them to be able to become digital literate? So that's when Google came up with the project Google Digital Skills for Africa to help fill that skills gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how exactly is that done, for example?
Yeah.
Say in Uganda, how do you practically do that?
Okay, so in Uganda, we work with partner organizations, with CBOs, grassroots organizations that help us in the front of mobilizing. And then we have facilitators and field agents. So we are running 3 different programs. There is Google Digital Skills for Africa, where we do online right now. So the initial goal, because of the issues around connectivity and infrastructure, the program was supposed to run offline. Conduct offline learning clinics, 3 hours, show them, just bring them to the realization that this can happen. And then now we have the online platform where they go and learn more, like self-paced learning. Okay. So because the pandemic hit while we were rolling it out, then we had to think, we could choose to sit back and fold up and wait for the storm, and it doesn't look like it's going away.
It's not going away. It's here to stay.
Yes. Or we could choose to adopt. How do we keep it going as much as we wait for normalcy, in quotes, which I don't know even what I mean.
We don't know what normal is anymore. Yeah?
Exactly. So then we decided to now start running them online. So we have been running online classes for the Google Digital Skills. And then we have, under Google Digital Skills, we also have another segment called GMB, Google My Business. So Google My Business is mainly targeted for SMEs, small medium enterprises and startups, which have been hardest hit by the pandemic. They were small in every way, but right now they're almost becoming extinct if nobody comes on board to hold their hands. So Google was like, okay, what is it that we can contribute? What is our expertise? Google has the expertise on the digital front. So we came up with this project, Google My Business, and it helps SMEs to adopt quickly with the e-commerce that is rising.
So if I am an SME, and I've heard about this Google My Business, what exactly do I need to do? What do I benefit? Practically. I don't know anything about digital stuff.
And the beautiful thing is that the Google My Business package was brought with the mindset that we are targeting those SMEs that don't even have a digital footprint. They have never even heard about it. They want to start. They don't have a social media presence. They don't have they have zero. So it's like, where do they start? And when you start telling them, you need to open your social media, you need to open a website, you get them totally confused. So it's like, how can we bring a package that puts everything in one and makes it easy? A package where it puts them on the search engine. When people are searching for products or services related to them, they are found. That can put them on the Google map, so that if you're found offline, if you're found online, you must be able to be tracked offline. So if they are found online, how easily can customers go to their physical shop front? So put them on the Google map, and then also give them a website, a free website.
Really?
Yeah. So Google My Business does that. So it's targeting that SME, that startup that is at a place where they're like, it's overwhelming. How do I even go online? I know that's where the business is occurring. That's where customers are. How do I get there? So Google My Business offers that window. So Google My Business gives them search listing. They are able to appear on the search engine. So if I search for your business, Ideation Corner, by exact words, I find you. If I search by related terms, like best hotel in Kampala or best saloon in Kampala, then using those, the business can be found. And then on the Google Map, they get Google Map listing where if you are found online, then somebody can come to the shop frontier without a lot of hassle. Long time ago, the way we used to give direction, it used to be come to the yellow MTN agent.
And there's a big mango tree, then turn left.
And then the other day, they cut down the tree, and the MTN shop was turned into a butchery, and then it was painted red. So it becomes easy for them to give direction to their shop front, and then give them a free website.
So how does one get onto Google? Maybe say Ideation Corner wants to now get onto Google Maybe. What does someone practically do? Simple.
So we have two ways of doing it. Number one, you can go directly to the platform Google My Business. So when you just when you just put in Google My Business, it will appear. So you can go in there and then put in your data, the business name, the location, your category. You can upload some photos, and then the point of verification is what makes the difference. So you can choose to be verified by post mail, but we know how in Africa, the mailing system, the infrastructure does not work. So you can choose to verify later, and then you have our partner.
Can you verify by PIN? Can you drop a PIN?
No.
I feel like you should be
so why verification is important? Because Google is trying to establish: are you a valid business? Are you legit? Are you legal? The information you're putting here, is it true? Does it reflect the truth? So you can choose. So when you choose by mail, our infrastructure does not work. So I'm not even encourage them to do that when they go to the platform. So we have our partner called Africa 108. So google.africa108.com. So when you choose verify later, go to that platform. Google,
another platform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Google.africa108.com. Okay. Then request to be called.
Okay.
Request for a call. So request for a call, this is a third party that has been entrusted with verifying. So when they tell Google that this business is legit, we have seen, we know the location, we have talked to our agents.
Do you need to have a physical location for them to say you're legit? What are those requirements? Because those requirements, I hope they're not restricted.
No. Yes. The only requirement for you to get on the GMB platform or be GMB listed is that the only thing you need is a physical location, and that's why it's limited.
But what if I'm an online business and I don't have a physical location? So doesn't that really defeat the purpose? Google is all online stuff, and your requirement is you need to have a physical address.
So the vision behind GMB was to first target those businesses that have physical locations. Okay. So it's almost like, we can say, the pilot phase, the way we started running it. But at the moment, we have not yet gone into mobile business. Because remember, when customers come online, the online customer already has pre-formed or predetermined mind. So the customer will always believe, one, if you have a website, is the first tick that you're legit, especially in the African context. Then the second thing is, do you have a physical location? So if you don't have a physical location, people always feel if it's mobile, and so many businesses are being conducted online, but the offline customer, when they come online, they always feel when somebody has a shop front, that's when they are legit. Or
but what I've learned, I think on one of the episodes on the Ideation Corner, I spoke to Kentaro, who does these hair products.
Kentaro.
So she initially had a physical presence, but when COVID came, she just didn't need a physical presence. Actually, she's doing all her stuff online, so she actually closed the office. I think she was in Kisementi, doesn't need it anymore. So would you not verify Kentaro, because now she doesn't have a physical, because she doesn't need it?
So with the aspect of Kentaro, every business that does deliver, let me give you like Jumia. Let me give an example of Jumia that is fully online, but they always have pickup points. You understand? So the logistics of delivery must always happen offline.
Okay.
You understand? So at the point where somebody wants to pick whatever they have bought, if they can't deliver, if they want to come and pick it themselves because they want to reduce cost and whatever, so you always have somewhere. It can be a store.
Let me give you an example. What he from a hairdresser. We used to have a salon closed during COVID, but I still have my skills. I'm selling a service. I want to be registered on Google My Business. Damali Sali, Google My Business, Damali Sali Salon, Google My Business. I want to be there. And all I need is for the customer to search me, find me, request for my service. I go find them. So technically, I don't need a salon. I don't need a location. Don't have it, but I go, and it's a service I'm providing. I'm trying to see how you guys can make sure you don't cut people out because of physical dress.
Actually, we have been having that debate a lot with a lot of businesses, a lot of SMEs you find, because they are trying to cut cost in every way. They also want to get rid of the overhead cost, rent, electricity, but the way the GMB has been structured at the moment, and I love the feedback that is coming out. It's coming out very loudly. They're like, okay, how can I also benefit from GMB if I don't have a physical location? Is it that the benefit of being on the Google Map listing, is it that it can be removed so that I can do that? So at the moment, unfortunately, only businesses that have a physical location.
It's ironic that an online company such as Google is insisting.
But for businesses that have only do not have a physical location, they're very mobile. We have what we call Google Sites. So Google Sites is different. Google Sites offers you almost like a catalog that you can have like on a Jumia profile, right? So you can go in, there's the product tab where you can put your products or your services, and then you share out, which is the same way. So with the Google Sites, you can still appear on the Google Map, you can appear on the Google search.
My lady hairdresser example, Damali Sari hairdresser, how can she be able to benefit from the Google My Business? She doesn't need a physical because it's her services. Someone calls her, she comes to wherever you are, does your hair, so she actually doesn't need a salon. How is she able to be registered on Google My Business? So
instead of going and registering on Google My Business, they can go to what we call Google Sites.
But people know Google My Business more. I feel like you've done a little bit more of a bigger spiel about Google My Business than...
let me tell you, you see, Google My Business has just collapsed the services that already pre-exist.
They were there before.
Yeah, like Google Map is there, Google Search is there, Google Site is there. So you see the website I'm talking about, the Google Search I'm talking about. So Google My Business has just come to collapse everything together. But because there is the component of Google Map listing, then it means businesses that are...
don't have physical addresses.
That have physical addresses are the ones that can benefit from that whole package. But the packages themselves differently. Google Search, you can be there. Google Site, you can be there. Google Map, you can be there separately.
I want to be on Google My Business. I want my hairdressing self to be on Google My Business.
So that's
the thing. People are now knowing more about Google My Business.
That's what I'm talking about. Google Sites. You understand? So Google Sites offers you the same way, the same thing I'm talking about, only that it does not have the component of Google Maps. Because if you're a mobile business, the way you're saying, you don't have a physical address. Yeah, then just go for Google Sites. directly. The same way.
But I feel like I'll get more credit or more credibility if I tell someone that, hi, I'm Demelisa, I'm a hairdresser, I'm on Google My Business. They'll be like, oh, Google verified you. But if you're like, I'm on Google Sites, no one knows a lot about Google Sites. Google My Business, however, sounds legit and credible. And,
I totally agree.
Seriously, guys,
so
consider it.
And it's legit because you have searched for some business. Let's say if I search for Lugogo House right now, you'll always find that when you search the search results, there is always the text, and then on this side there's a profile that appears, then asks you to call, ask for direction. That's the profile that is given to that's what we call Google My Business. That kind of profile is when they're given. So at the point somebody searches for you, they're able to see everything about your business. They're able to see the photos of your product, they're able to see your contact, they're able to see your location, they're able to see reviews from previous customers. Then before they even get in touch with you, they have had a snapshot of the whole array. So that's what Google My Business. But unfortunately for now,
Demelisa, the hairdresser. Sorry, we can't deal with you.
For now, it is still dealing with businesses that have physical locations.
Okay, and how are you getting to them? How are you getting them to know about Google My Business?
So, running the project runs with partners, CBOs, grassroots.
What are CBOs?
And then, community-based organizations, and then also with agents. So, like now in Uganda, we have around 50 agents who go into the community. We facilitate them. They go to shop. They go to the arcades downtown. They go to the malls. They go where telling them this about this product. So that's how we are getting the information out there to the community.
Is it nationwide, or are you just mostly targeting urban centers? So
we just started.
When did you start? Sorry, I'm asking all these questions. Like, you've been here for years.
So the GB project started, I think mid last year, but the pandemic, the effects have bolstered the project to now go full blown. So around July, 1st July is when, especially in Uganda, we started running it very aggressively. So we
started with Kampala.
We started in Kampala, but we have recently brought on board more grassroots partners. We have a partner in Gulu, we have another in Jinja, another one in Pigi. So they're helping us. So we're trying to pilot it fast within Kampala, and I'm thinking it's time, all these projects get outside beyond the cities. Kampala, every time we come and we land here, so
it's kind of not fair, because it's the Kampala people who already kind of have access, who can do that, and then they get the benefit also.
And they have been overfed with so much projects, and they don't.
Because every project starts in Kampala.
Exactly.
And yet we have because I know that Gulu is a major town now, Mbale, Mbara, Jinja, Arua is also a bustling town. So I think those are good places to go to. To spread out. But like you said, you've just started, honestly.
Exactly. So it's when we're bringing on board more partners and more implementing.
And then these partners, what exactly do they do?
So we look at especially partners who deal with in empowerment programs. So they work closely either with young people, the youth, women in business, or they're just generally outside there trying to eradicate poverty and give people dignified lives. So we target these ones into friends, especially those ones that work with youths, because we find out it's I can say it's what can I call it? It's almost, people have made up their mind that young people between 18 to 35 are the ones who are very digital savvy. Although there are people beyond that age bracket that are also good. But so we work with them because in two fronts. Number one, they bring on board the young people who already, you don't have to hustle a lot to explain to them what exactly they need to go into the community to do. So in that aspect, you're also creating jobs for the young people that are in their circles. And then also we work with the young people because they have that energy. Because it's a lot of field work, go to this mall, finish. You cannot even finish the whole mall.
Do they enter like the shopping mall and then go from one stall to from one?
I've actually done it downtown when we started in
Chikowo.
In June. I think in June or August. I actually went downtown with them. And there are so many, you can't even finish in a day. One mall has too many shops.
Okay.
Too many shops.
So they will walk into the mall in Jikobo, you enter a shop,
yeah,
and then you register that business if they agree. Then you register it instantly.
We explain to the business first of all what it is about, because people assume that because this internet connectivity is improving, like people are connected. You go into these shops and you find, somebody really wants to go online, but they don't even have a Gmail address in the first place. They don't, like those basics that you take for granted, like how can somebody not have a Gmail address? Yes. So we have to go back to the basics.
Okay.
Now even go over and beyond. Yeah, we came to register GMB, but
now you can't register because they don't even have an email address.
We go into a digital masterclass 101. It's like, this is why it's important to you. This is what it is.
So you'll help them register an email address.
Yeah.
Then you'll help them register on the
business. Yeah.
And then you train them on how to
to manage the profile and how to go about it. So once it has been approved, so remember when the agent comes, so they explain, they list the business. It has not yet been verified, so it is not live on the search, right? Okay. So it needs to go through other processes.
That verification process, how long does it take?
The verification process takes 24 hours.
Okay.
So they come today, tomorrow you receive a call from our headquarters in Nairobi. So they'll call you and verify, did so and so come to you, did they explain, do you accept, because there's a lot of issue around data privacy. So we don't want to put a business, we find the Malisali Saloon and they're like, Neda, I've never put this online, how did it get here? Yes. So we need to verify that this information was given willingly, somebody did not go somewhere and get a database and just send us in. So that's the step of verification. So once they have received that call and they have accepted that they want their business to be listed, then voila, it happens.
Okay. Then
so it's listed, they receive a Gmail, they accept and they take ownership of the listing and they start.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So some studies have shown that Uganda is one of the most entrepreneurial countries in the world.
Yeah.
Another bit is Ugandan women are very entrepreneurial. We are like at top of the list or second globally. So is your intervention Google My Business specially tailored to ensure that the women are actually on there, because they have their special restrictions as women.
True. So
actually that's why I gave you that example of the hairdresser.
I'll tell you one of the partners that you've been working with Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Association. So I've been working so closely with them, and one thing I've realized, especially you find that most of the women that are very entrepreneurial are in their late 30s, early 40s, and they're so busy with their craft, whatever they do, they don't even have time for this.
I think they're only on WhatsApp at the least.
Yeah. Exactly. So they don't even have that. They realize from all the capacity building they've been given, they realize that it's important. But that's like, it's too much.
Yeah,
but then you realize most of them, they have teenage kids who are so tech savvy. They know so much, and most of the time they take a backseat in even contributing to the family business. Like, it's paying the bills, but they just take a back. They're like, I don't need the hassle of So we are finding a way of almost what we call an intergenerational cooperation. Okay. Yes, their mothers have the hustle. They're very business savvy, and then the kids who are teenagers are very tech savvy. So how can you combine these two? So the way we've been working with you, Will, several of them we have listed. I saw you are a fan of coffee, so we have been working so closely. So we have been working so closely with one coffee brand called Kimco Coffee by Martha Wandera. So we realized Martha knows so much about the coffee, going to the farm and the whatever, treating it and drying or whatever. And her daughter can take care of the digital part of it.
Area.
Yeah, so we go practically. We go.
So you train both.
We train both.
Okay.
We train both, mother and daughter and son, whatever. We train them both. Okay. And you find the mother is like, you concentrate very carefully.
You listen, because you're the one who's going to do the digital thing.
This is going to be your work. So we have been impressing, because we realize we cannot force them. Yeah. It reaches a level in life where if you try to stomp so much knowledge of somebody, you end up confusing them and disorienting them. So it's a question of like, how can you look at it there?
But I even like that, because in a way now her daughter actually interested in the business, which she may not have been interested in. Then also she gets things to do, real things to do that actually contribute to the family income.
And in essence, in the process, they even start understanding how the family business runs.
Yes, and then they're able to. Then at least that way, in fact, the family is able to benefit from the kids that they've educated. Because because most times I find that the women who are hustling didn't get that high education, but they're hustling so hard to ensure their kids get the best education. Then the kids get the best education, they have zero interest in the mom's hustle, which she spent hours. And
so it's just a creative way of bringing them in. They're not tech savvy, they want to be online, they want to really gain all these digital skills, but they're contributing to the family business. So
as well.
Essentially by default, they're just going to
and in a way that will allow the generations to actually, you know how in Uganda where a person starts a business, when they die, the business dies.
Exactly.
But at least in this way, it can carry on. Where the daughter takes on because she was able to be brought in through the digital aspect. Well, that's interesting. I really like it.
So we are working with UWIL. We are working closely with UCIA, Uganda Small Scale Industry Association. So all these are on board.
Oh, that's very interesting. I like that. So Joy, thank you so much for coming on the Ideation Corner. I feel like we haven't had enough time. Do you have anything more to add?
So one more thing, it's important that we are bringing the women agenda on the table aggressively, and especially we need to bring it into the boardroom. So we are running this amazing campaign called #IamRemarkable to empower women to speak.
I am remarkable.
To empower women to speak more openly about their achievements, because remember, achievements don't speak for themselves, and it is not bragging if it's based on facts. So why should we be afraid? So look out for that project. Is coming soon. #IamRemarkable.
When is it happening?
It's already being run. But look out for it. #IamRemarkable. It's an amazing. It's going to be an amazing run.
So it's targeted to women.
Yes, targeted to women and other underrepresented groups, because we realize, women, because of gender norms and imposter syndrome, we are cultured in a way that you don't speak about your achievements. You need to be very modest.
They always say you have to speak for itself, and
I'll tell you, Damali, your hair is
like
exactly. And it's like I don't like that. So Remarkable is targeted towards that, because promotion at the workplace is about people knowing what you do. Every time you have that chance, introduce yourself, say what you're good at, say what you've achieved. Achievements don't speak for themselves, and we need to tell our young.
I don't know who lied to us. Like, your work will speak for itself. And like, how can it speak for itself? It doesn't have a mouth.
Have you seen your male colleagues when they introduce themselves?
They talk about their work. They talk about their stuff.
And they're like, wow. And then when a fellow woman introduces themselves, like, I've done this and this, you're like,
oh gosh, it's such a show. So is this targeted to corporates?
It's corporate. Every level.
Like corporate women or all
every
sectors?
level, even in high school, they need to grow up knowing that you need to speak up. But also in the corporate world is very important, especially in terms of gaining promotion and moving up your professional ladder. If you don't speak, you'll continue serving tea at the boardroom when they're discussing
taking notes.
matters.
Taking notes. They like
exactly.
Like,
or serving the tea.
Who will take the notes? As she will.
Exactly. And you sit back at the corner. So speak up, let them know what, and it's not bragging if it's based on facts. If Damali, you really brought internet in Uganda, it's true. If you are paying school fees for 10 girls, it's true. You're not lying. So you need to speak up.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You can subscribe to my channel, the Ideation Corner, and I hope you've enjoyed my discussion with Joy. Thank you.